The beam lay where it had fallen. Not shattered. Not burned. Just wrong. It rested at an angle it had never known before. Wood split cleanly down the grain, as if the house itself had flinched too late. Suraya stood in front of it, hands clasped behind her back. She did not cry. She did not fidget. She tilted her head slightly, studying the damage with the quiet intensity of someone far older than 10. Indra noticed something then, something that didn't fit. Suraya didn't wait for forgiveness, didn't ask if anyone was angry, didn't even look at Maktima. She had already decided the verdict. She shuffled closer to the beam and nudged it gently with her foot, as if testing whether it would still listen to her. The clearing was still. Too still. Even the forest seemed reluctant to move, as if afraid another breath might finish the job. Suraya stared at the broken support like it might apologize first. She finally spoke.
Oops.
It was soft, almost thoughtful. Dayang turned toward her at once. Not angry, not shouting, just alert, because whenever Suraya grew this quiet, something always followed. Suraya shuffled her feet once, then twice. She looked up, smile already in place, bright, familiar, practiced.
I didn't mean to do that,
she said quickly. Then, after a beat, added,
but I did do it.
She lifted her shoulders in a tiny shrug, like the matter was already settled.
Sorry.
It was the most Suraya apology possible, half earnest, half deflection, entirely insufficient. Dayang opened her mouth. Suraya didn't wait. She turned her gaze back to the fallen beam, her smile thinning just a fraction, not enough to vanish, just enough to wobble.
Maktima will probably hate me for this.
She said it lightly, almost cheerfully, as if commenting on the weather. Indra's head snapped up. The sentence landed wrong. Not what she said. How she said it. There was no fear in her voice, no anticipation of punishment. Just certainty, as if hatred was an expected outcome, a natural consequence, like rain after clouds. Dayang went still. Dayang crouched beside her.
She won't.
Suraya nodded immediately, too fast.
I know.
Then softer, so soft it barely counted as sound.
She never does. Makes you wonder sometimes.
Dayang stiffened. Astraeon's tail flicked once, slow and uneasy. No one said a word. Suraya nodded to herself, as if the silence had confirmed something she already believed. Then, just like that, she brightened.
Oh,
She spun on her heel, eyes lighting up as she looked at Arantheris.
can you fly?
The Sky King blinked. She pointed at the sky.
Above the clouds?
Aran hesitated.
Fly?
He repeated. Suraya grinned.
Yeah, like really fly.
Indra turned fully now.
I don't think.
Dayang spoke at the same time.
No.
The word was firm, immediate. Suraya didn't pout, didn't argue, didn't whine. She just looked at Dayang, head tilted, eyes curious instead of defiant.
Then, come with me.
Dayang searched her face, the dirt on her cheek, the feathers still stuck in her hair, the way her smile never quite reached her eyes. The clearing froze again. Dayang frowned.
What?
Come with me.
Suraya repeated, as if it were the most obvious solution in the world.
If it's dangerous, you come too.
It wasn't a challenge. It wasn't manipulation. It was an invitation. Dayang hesitated. She looked at the house, wounded but standing. At Maktima, still unconscious, blissfully ignorant. At Indra, watching Suraya like he was afraid she might vanish if he blinked. Then she looked down at the child beside her.
Just a short flight.
Dayang said at last. Suraya's grin returned in full force.
Yes.
Arantheris shifted, wings unfurling slowly, carefully, each movement measured now, as if afraid even air itself might break something. He lowered himself, vast frame bowing toward the earth. Dayang lifted Suraya onto his back. The child climbed eagerly, settling between ridges of armored feathers, as if she had done this 1,000 times before. Dayang followed, bracing instinctively. She had served as a sky warden several centuries ago riding Garudas, but never anything that bowed the sky itself. As Aranthurus rose, wind curling beneath his wings, Suraya leaned forward. The house grew smaller beneath them. The fallen beam shrank into a pale line against the earth. Suraya watched it until it blurred. Then she looked up. Aeron's shadow slid across the clearing once more as he climbed, carrying Suraya and Dayang into the open sky. The wind swallowed their laughter. On the ground, Indra stood frozen. He watched the sky swallow them. It was his first day here, and already, his understanding of the world had been shattered, again, and again, and again. Power that bent reality, a child treated like divinity, a woman who outranked monsters. He stood very still, eyes fixed upward, trying, failing to understand how his life had gone from rigid discipline to whatever this was in the span of a single afternoon. The ground did not shake. The air did not scream. Astraeon Malachar simply sat. No impact, no threat, just wait. The Moonlight Sovereign folded his massive form with deliberate care, armored plates settling like drifting continents. Moonlit stripes pulsed faintly along his body, illuminating the grass in soft silver hues. At 25 feet across the shoulders, he was a living mountain, silent, regal, devastating. He sat only a few feet from Indra. Indra swallowed.
This is not happening.
The tiger's golden eyes flicked sideways. Astraeon was conflicted. Everything before this moment had gone wrong. Wrong in ways no sovereign doctrine had prepared him for. The hierarchy of the clearing no longer made sense. Suraya was unquestionably at the apex. Dayang stood just beneath her, unquestionable. But then there was this boy, a human, clad in black, standing where trained veil guards had fallen unconscious beneath his aura. Impossible, the sovereign thought, unless the boy stood higher than sovereigns too. Astraeon's tail curled slightly, unease rippling through his massive form. Indra shifted his weight, painfully aware of the proximity. Astraeon did not look at Indra. Observe first, Astraeon told himself. Confirm rank. This boy had not fallen when even the veterans did. 3 possibilities. 1, the boy was ignorant of what he'd just endured. 2, the boy was so powerful it hadn't affected him. 3, the boy wanted him to think option 1. Astraeon's tail curled. Option 3 was terrifying. Indra became acutely aware that the Sovereign of Moonlight, Calamity Class, living myth, civilization ender, was now sitting beside him like a very large, very quiet mountain. Do not provoke it, Indra thought. Do not breathe wrong. Minutes passed. Finally, Indra spoke, because silence was somehow worse.
Astra.
The Sovereign's spine locked.
Yes, Your Excellency, sir.
The words exploded out of Astraeon's mouth like a reflex misfire. Silence. Indra blinked. Astraeon froze. The clearing itself seemed to hold its breath.
What no, I'm not.
Understood.
Astraeon replied instantly. He denies the title, Astraeon thought. A classic concealment tactic. Silence crashed back down between them. Indra stared straight ahead, face warm.
Why is he calling me that? Did I offend him? Is this some kind of test?
Astraeon did not move. His mind raced.
He stands unarmed. He commands no aura. He hides his dominion completely. Even the Veil Warden defers to him indirectly. Yes, this must be correct.
Indra shifted his feet. Astraeon's ears twitched.
Do you?
Indra asked carefully.
Need something?
A probe, Astraeon decided, testing awareness.
I wouldn't dare.
The Sovereign answered.
Do you need anything?
From you? Nope.
Indra blinked in disbelief. He can't even imagine needing something from such a creature.
I am fine. Thank you for asking.
Astraeon inclined his head slightly.
Of course you are.
He said gravely.
That's expected.
A predator wouldn't need any help from the prey, Astraeon concluded. This human is terrifying. Another pause. A breeze passed through the clearing. Grass rippled. Somewhere, a chicken clucked, fewer than before. Indra cleared his throat.
You're not angry, right?
Astraeon's eyes widened a fraction. Angry? At him? The boy who stood unscathed while trained warriors collapsed? The boy the Veil Warden watches like a hawk watches a storm? He's testing me, seeing if I'm foolish enough to admit offense.
No.
Astraeon said immediately.
Never.
One does not grow angry at the apex. One apologizes.
Was my presence too much?
Astraeon asked carefully. Indra relaxed.
Just a little, because earlier, when you did that thing.
Yes.
Astraeon interrupted quickly.
A controlled exertion.
Indra nodded, impressed despite himself.
Right? Very controlled.
He approves, Astraeon thought, relief washing through him. Praise without words. They sat like that, two figures misjudging each other with profound intensity. Indra thought, he's being polite so I don't panic. He could destroy everything if he wanted. Astraeon thought, he restrains himself so the world survives. Above them, a distant contrail curved through the sky as Aeron banked hard. Laughter faint on the wind. Astraeon glanced upward.
The first light appears. Content.
He said cautiously. Indra smiled despite himself.
Yeah, she's a child after all.
Casual reference to a godlike entity, Astraeon noted. Familiar, unafraid. He turned his head slightly now, golden eyes finally settling on the boy.
May I?
Astraeon asked carefully.
Continue sitting here?
Indra looked startled.
You don't have to ask me.
Astraeon bowed his massive head a fraction.
Noted.
He said solemnly. Permission granted implicitly, he concluded. Magnanimous. Indra stared at the ground, cheeks warm, wondering how his first day here had somehow turned him into a person a sovereign asked permission from. Neither of them noticed the faint warmth creeping through the soil. Not yet. The ground fell away. The world widened. Villages became clusters of light. Roads unraveled into threads. Rivers turned to silver veins winding through green. Suraya laughed. Not mischievous laughter. Not chaos laughter. Pure, unguarded delight.
Auntie Dayang!
She shouted over the wind.
Everything's tiny!
Dayang held firm behind her, one arm braced protectively, the other steady against Erentheris's back. She allowed herself a small smile.
Don't get used to it.
Suraya squinted at the horizon.
Too late!
They climbed higher. Clouds swallowed them whole. Cool mist curling, brown skin and feathers, then parted above them, like a curtain being drawn back. The sky opened. The cold bit at Suraya's cheeks. Her lungs burned. The air up here was thin, sharp, tasting of ice and distance. She breathed it in anyway. Up here she could breathe. Up here there were no chickens to harass. No beams to break. No Maktima to disappoint. No titles that didn't fit.
Beautiful,
She whispered. Stars burned bright and close, unmarred by smoke or shadow, unconcerned with titles or expectations, existing simply because they could. The moons hung vast and luminous, close enough to touch. For a moment, just a moment, Suraya felt weightless in a way that had nothing to do with flight. No one was watching. No one was waiting. No one needed anything from her. She could just be. Then, almost to herself, so soft the wind nearly claimed it first,
I almost forgot my place for a second.
the stars kept burning. They didn't care what her place was. Dayang's smile faltered.
What place is that?
She asked lightly, teasing.
Village Menace, destroyer of Maktima's house.
She chuckled. Suraya's heart clenched. Sharp, sudden, invisible. Suraya didn't answer right away. Her hands tightened briefly in Aeron's feathers. White-knuckled, trembling, before releasing just as quickly.
Let's go back, Auntie Dayang.
She said, voice suddenly bright.
Aeron, full speed!
Dayang frowned.
Suraya, wait.
As you command, First Light.
Erentheris replied instantly.
My name is Suraya, not the first lie!
They shot forward. The wind screamed. They shot forward like an arrow released by the sky itself. Suraya cackled, hair whipping wildly, arms spread wide. Dayang gripped Aeron's feathers tightly.
I am never agreeing to this again.
I'm sorry,
Auntie Dayan.
Suraya said suddenly. The wind screamed between them, shredding sound.
For always causing trouble for you.
Her voice was small, genuine. The kind of apology that wasn't practiced, wasn't performed. The kind that hurt to say.
Suraya,
Dayang leaned forward instantly, heart clenching.
what did you say?
Suraya glanced back, and for just a second, Dayang saw something raw in her expression. Then it was gone.
Nothing!
Suraya laughed, bright and sharp.
I said the clouds look like chickens!
She stood carefully, arms spreading wide.
Suraya, sit down.
The sky answered. Too eagerly. The air twisted, not violently, not maliciously, just too much, like a door opened too fast. Suraya's footing slipped. For a heartbeat, she hovered, suspended between sky and earth. Surprise crossed her face. Then, a faint smile. Acceptance, almost relief. She fell. Aranthyrus screamed, not in sound, but in motion. He folded his wings and hurled himself downward, massive body turning into a living comet, flame tearing from his feathers as he accelerated far past safety. Too fast. Too steep. Dayang felt it instantly.
We won't make it. Not like this. Not at this speed. Aranthyrus would hit the ground first. Then Suraya will be next.
There was no time to slow. No room to maneuver. So Dayang chose. She let go. The world vanished. Veilblade overdrive. 20 steps compressed into a single heartbeat. She tore herself off Aranthyrus' back and downward, the veil screaming as she broke every rule of motion. Reality buckling just long enough to allow her through. The sky tore open behind her. She caught Suraya mid-fall, arms locking tight around the small, fragile weight.
Hold on to me.
Dayang ordered. Suraya did. Below them, the ground rushed up, merciless, inevitable. Dayang's mind raced.
Angle won't work. Velocity too high. Shielding myself won't matter.
She adjusted her grip, instinctively turning Suraya inward, bracing her own body beneath the child.
If someone has to...
Fire roared. Not above, not below, from the side. A wall of heat slammed into the air beside them as something vast surged upward, flames folding inward with terrifying precision. They landed on him, the third sovereign. His back took the impact, scales flaring, wings flaring wider to bleed speed as he absorbed the fall in a spiraling descent. The heat wrapped around them, hot, fierce, but not burning. Protective. They hit the ground hard, earth buckling, fire blasting outward in a shockwave that flattened trees and sent ash screaming into the sky. Behind them, Aranthyrus struck. He hit the ground like a falling star, carving a crater deep enough to make the forest howl. He rose immediately, unhurt. Aranthyrus stood in his crater, wings still spread, ash raining from his feathers like snow. He did not speak, did not move. His eyes were wild. A dragon of fire straightened, chest heaving, flames snapping along his spine. A massive eye opened, burning, ancient, curious. Silence. Aranthyrus rose from his crater, slowly. His feathers, usually radiant, looked dull, scorched not by impact, but by something worse. He approached, movements deliberate, and bowed his head immediately. Not to Dayang, not to Thaelorun, to Suraya. He stared at her, still alive, still safe. Not because of him.
First light?
He said, voice raw.
It's okay, Aaron.
Suraya said quickly, brightly.
You tried really hard.
The Sky King went silent. Tried. The word echoed in the space where pride used to live. Not succeeded. Tried. His wings folded. Something ancient and proud crumbled behind his eyes. Thaelorun watched this. Watched the Sky King bow under weight that had nothing to do with gravity. Then the fire dragon spoke, voice careful.
First light.
Suraya clutched Dayang's cloak, peeking out.
My name is Suraya Arindal, not First Light.
She murmured. For a long moment, Thaelorun simply looked at her. Small, Fragile, mortal, and yet…
And you are braver than I expected.
Suraya blinked.
You're really big!
Something that might have been amusement rippled through the dragon's flames. The fire cooled around them. Ash drifted in slow spirals. The dragon's gaze burned into Suraya. Fierce yet measured. For a moment, no one moved. Dayang's arms trembled, just once, before she locked them steady again. Suraya felt the heartbeat against her cheek. Too fast. Auntie Dayang's heart was racing. She looked up. Dayang wasn't looking at her. She was looking at the sky they'd just fallen from, jaw tight, eyes distant.
Auntie Dayang?
Dayang blinked, focused. Her grip shifted. Gentler now, but somehow tighter.
I'm fine.
She said. Suraya knew that tone. It was the same one she used herself.
Okay.
The dragon watched them both, flames settling, something old and weary in his gaze.
Is she okay?
The dragon asked Dayang, his tone hard, as if demanding an answer. Dayang tightened her hold.
She'll be fine, probably.
Suraya peeked around the arm that protected her.
So, do I get a name for you, or…
The fire dragon considered. Heat shimmering over his scales like a thoughtful pause.
I am Thaelorun Pyrrhax.
Suraya grinned.
Hey, got it!
Die.
The dragon hesitated for a bit.
Don't worry about it. Everyone got their own nickname.
Dayang gestured.
It's a Suraya thing.
Dayang turned toward Suraya.
And you, young lady, you are grounded for 40 years starting yesterday.
Oh!
Suraya complained, face pouting. Thaelorun's massive eyes widened. Molten gold and ancient flame swirling within. Something was off. He had expected awe, reverence, pure horror, even silence, trembling fear. Instead, these people, these fragile, fleeting mortals, treated him like a slightly oversized, mildly warm lizard you might see sunning itself on the market path. He blinked. Heat rippled across his scales. He flexed his wings. Nothing changed. I am Thaelorun Pyrrhax, he thought, Lord of Fire, breaker of mountains, sovereign of flame. And yet, treated as if I were a house cat with wings? A tail flicked. Embers hissed. The wind whispered uncertainly. Somewhere, deep in the forest, the mountains themselves seemed to hesitate. Is this my life now? He exhaled. A plume of fire curling like smoke rings into the sky. Half in disbelief, half in resignation. And Suraya laughed. Tiny, irrepressible, fearless, completely unaware of the cosmic identity crisis she had just caused. Thaelorun shifted beneath them, flames banking low.
I will return you,
he said, not a question. Dayang nodded. As Thaelorun carried them back toward the house, steady, careful, flames barely warm, Suraya glanced once more at the fallen beam. It hadn't moved.
Auntie Dayang?
She asked quietly.
When Maktima wakes up!
Suraya paused.
Should I hide?
Dayang's expression softened.
No, Suraya, you don't hide.
Oh,
Suraya nodded.
okay.
She looked back at the beam.
I'll just fix it before she sees.
Suraya.
But the child was already planning, eyes distant, smile returning like armor.
I can put it back.
She said, more to herself than to Dayang.
Make it like it never happened.
Her hands were shaking. She clasped them behind her back, the way she had when she first stood before the beam. The same posture. Different damage.
I'm good at that.
Dayang opened her mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. What do you say to a child who's learned to erase herself? How do you tell someone so small that they don't have to be good at disappearing when everyone around them has made that skill necessary? The words stuck in her throat like broken glass.
Suraya,
She managed finally.
you don't have to.
Thaelorun watched the child walk away, small, bright, practiced. Behind the smile, behind the cheer, behind the relentless energy, an absence. Yes, he thought. Something is very wrong here. and everyone knows. They just don't know what to do about it.